topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where for the last 16 years we have brought you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Hey, our show this morning, we do it the first Monday of the month at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and the third Monday of the month, also Eastern Time, 9 o'clock. And it's because it's such an important show. We start off just targeting the Tampa area, but the show has grown so much that we added all of Florida because it is such an important topic. But not that it's just such an important topic, but we have got, I hope he doesn't get mad at me saying this, we have got the best money management company in not just Florida, but the entire United States. And we're so lucky to have him. Good morning, Ray Ferrara, Provise Management Group.
Good morning, Steve. And how can I get mad at that kind of an endorsement? I'm sure that there are many that would debate that, but we do appreciate your confidence in our ability to work with all of our 1,200 clients scattered over 34 states. We're managing about $2 billion as of the end of last year, kind of up and down right now with all this going on in the market. But we are delighted to be able to be with you twice a month and hope to impart a little bit of our thoughts and knowledge about financial planning and investment management as we go along. And of course, Stephen, I'd be remiss if I didn't comment that every listener of Ask Your Experts is entitled to a 1-hour complimentary consultation directly with me, not with any of our other 13 advisors, with just questions, second opinions, looking to make a change, looking to find a new person or a person to help with financial planning and investment management. So if you have an interest in doing that, give us a call at 1-866-33-3049. That's 1-800-633-3049. And just say you want to schedule that complimentary 1-hour consultation with Ray, and they'll get the message to me, and we'll be happy to schedule it.
You know, Ray, by the emails that we get, people love your honesty. They love the fact that this is from them, that you are a little on the conservative side. And I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about money management. And they really love your knowledge and the direction you give. That's pretty incredible.
Well, it's nice that people who have experienced the show and our advice feel that way. You know, there are very few sayings that I can attribute directly to myself that I haven't borrowed from others. But as far as I know, this one is one that I created and live by. And that is, there's no wrong time to do the right thing. And the corollary to that is there's no right time to do the wrong thing. So we always try to keep our clients first in mind, regardless of what the consequences are to us. We just always try to do the right thing. We have found over the years that it translates into what you just talked about, that people have a great deal of confidence in the advice that we provide as a result.
Ray, also, I think people look, we try, we don't want this to ever be a political show. Sometimes you just can't help it. Right now we've got, I'm going to call it a war. I know they don't want to call it a war, but I'm going to call it a war. We've got this war going on. It's been going on now for 3 weeks, and people are concerned about the markets. So they'd love to hear an update from you, and actually also what they can expect over the next few weeks.
Well, we are entering the third week of the conflict as of last Saturday. And no one has expected that this was going to be done in days. And it may not be done in months. I know that the president and his advisors would like to think it's going to be done in a few more weeks. And perhaps it will be, and certainly for all involved, we hope that it is. But it's entirely possible that it could last well past that. This is not a Venezuela. This is not where we went in and kidnapped the president there and then helped the other internal folks to see the light, if you will. This is a very different experience. Has clearly been the queen bee of the terrorist movement over many years. As the administration would describe it, they were trying to cut off the head of the snake. And probably from a military standpoint, they are well on their way to accomplishing that goal. But there's always the what's next, and
yes,
what happens after that. And I'm talking about these things and getting to answer your question. We have not seen the new Ayatollah since he was elected. His father did not want him to succeed him as the next Ayatollah. We don't know if he's injured. We don't know if he's incapacitated. We don't know. And that makes it very difficult. You have a lot of oligarchs using the Russian term in Iran that have become very rich over the past 4 decades. They're all in hiding at the moment. And so it's going to take time for us to root out those other hardliners, if that in fact is a goal. The market is a little more than 5% below its all-time high set in early February. That's not a big deal by any stretch of the imagination. That's going to happen 3, 4, 5 times a year where the market's going to back up 5%. It is close to its 20-day moving average, which traditionally is a time to begin thinking about entering the market. And I know that may sound crazy to folks, but there is an expression on Wall Street that you invest when blood is running in the streets. And there certainly is blood that is running as a result of the war, which is unfortunate. But it's also creating that uncertainty that often creates opportunity. And our advice to anybody who is considering investing more money into the market or investing for the first time into the market is to ease your way in, stick your toe in, invest an equal amount of money over the next 6, 8, 10 months, whatever time period you want, to buy an average going into the market. At some point, all of this is going to change. Yes, there will be a spike in inflation as a result of oil prices going up. It'll probably go up quickly, assuming the conflict doesn't drag on for more than another couple of months. It should come down equally as fast. And there are even agreements right now to allow some ships pass through the Hormuz Straits. China, India, all Iranian ships are being allowed to pass without any incidents. It's only U.S. ships which there are very few, and then there are the allies that also are not being permitted to go through. But each of them are negotiating with Iran for free passage. So hopefully those will open up, and that will reduce some of the pressures on the price of oil and on inflation. So now could be a good time to think about starting to dip your toe into the market if you've got cash sitting on the sideline.
Ray, we've got 5 people who've just written in, all in different parts of Florida, but they mostly all have the same question. They want to know, basically, I thought we had bought this oil long ago and that we have plenty of oil. Why have the prices spiked up?
Well, that's a question that many people have been asking. So I'm not surprised that 5 people have texted in and asked about it. It was an opportunity for suppliers of oil, of energy, to raise prices. I have a very good friend who sells gasoline to independent operators around the Tampa Bay area. And I always tease him that whenever something like this happens, they raise prices right away, yes, even though the gasoline that's in the ground was not affected by it. And then when the crisis is over, they're very slow to bring prices back down.
Oh, is that the truth?
One can argue that that's being a vulture. Others could say, well, that's capitalism at its finest, and probably somewhere in between is the truth. Clearly, the United States and but the cost of our oil has gone up. Some of the oil from other parts of the world we can't use because it's not our refineries are not set up to take some of the impurities that are in that oil out of it to make it useful. But it's like why did the price of eggs go up so much? Well, in that case, it was bird flu.
Yes.
Why did oil, or why is oil going up? It's the uncertainty of war. How long is it going to last? It's supply and demand. The demand doesn't go away, but the supply shrinks, and that's going to always drive prices up over a short period of time. But also, I would say to you that if the war ended tomorrow, Stephen, the price of oil is not going to dramatically fall the next day. It will take time for it to come down. Oil will not begin flowing immediately. It's going to take oil to come back online, and the natural gas, which is equally as important, along with fertilizer. So this is not something that's going to happen overnight.
This is a question from Boca Martin. I really enjoy your show every month. I'm probably one of your loyal listeners. My question is, and I hope this is not a dumb question, if it becomes that we get boots on the ground, does that affect the markets?
Martin, I can only guess, and I want to be careful about speculating. But if we have boots on the ground in Iran, and there's a lot of questions around that, considering that 2,500 Marines were sent to the Middle East,
yes,
the past few days, although they're equally trained not only in fighting but in guarding U.S. interests around the world. But if we have boots on the ground, I can't imagine a scenario that wouldn't complicate life dramatically. I would hope, and again, Stephen, as you said, want to be careful, not to get into politics, but I would hope that we don't make the mistake of putting boots on the ground in Iran or any place else in the world. There's no reason for the women and men of our armed forces to be in harm's way in that way at this particular time. Could there be an expeditionary force that goes in to perhaps capture or kill certain leaders? Yeah, maybe that might happen, but even that, I think, would really cause some consternation within the market. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
I got to get this question in. This is from Cheryl. Cheryl's in Delray Beach. She said, I'm enjoying your show. She said, I am really worried about the war going on right now. Do you think, Ray, that the president makes decisions based on the stock market?
Oh my gosh, Cheryl, I would hope not. No matter whether you're a Trump supporter or not, whether you're leaning to the left or to the right, I hope that the president, always the president, regardless of who's sitting in the White House, that makes the right decision for the United States and not for the stock market or for any other individuals. And I know in our world and our society today, we all have a great deal of skepticism about some of our leaders and those present and past. But I just hope that that they will always be making the right decision. I hearken back, Stephen, with I grew up as a kid with President Kennedy. I was 13, 14 years old when he was elected. And the night on inauguration night, he walked about 2:00 in the morning. He walked into the Oval Office for the first time, and Ken O'Donnell, who was his chief of staff, came in and said, "Well, Mr. President," he said, "what do you think of your new office?" And Kennedy looked at him and he said, "Kenny, you and I grew up together in politics. We've been friends for a long time. You don't have to call me Mr. President. I'm still Jack." And O'Donnell looked at him and he said, "Well, Mr. President, this isn't about you. It's about the office." And I'd like to think that anybody who sits in that desk in that office is always making the right decision or attempting to make the right decision for the United States, regardless of how you feel about the person that's in office. That's what I hope. Maybe I'm just an eternal optimist, but I think most of the time they're all well-intentioned, even though it may not seem that way at the time.
So again, amazing, so many questions about the war. I didn't know, Ray, that the Feds are meeting this week.
Yep.
So what do you anticipate they're going to do given the war and the high inflation than they would like? And do you think that, are they going to either lower or raise the rates?
So the Fed is meeting tomorrow and Wednesday, and so we'll get a press conference Wednesday afternoon to find out their decision. So taking into effect one of Covey's 7 habits of effective people, begin with the end in mind. We do not anticipate a change in the interest rate.
Okay.
Right now, there is a yin and a yang that's going on within our economy. And thus, it's creating confusion over the dual mandate that the Fed has. On the one hand, it needs to battle inflation. And in order to battle inflation, you raise interest rates, making it more expensive to do business. And that slows down the economy and trying to avoid a recession and layoffs, et cetera. On the other side of the mandate is full employment, defined as something around 3.5% to 4% unemployment. And clearly, the past 12 months, and some would argue even longer, the numbers of new hires is down dramatically post COVID. And in fact, the unemployment rates ticked up a little bit the last couple of months. So how do you stimulate the economy? You lower interest rates. So how can you raise them to fight inflation and at the same time lower them to help increase to decrease the cost of doing business, thus encouraging people to hire more folks? We think they'll stay pat. We've said that consistently, that we thought maybe there would be one interest rate decrease that could occur at their May meeting, at Powell's last meeting. It does not at the present time look like that's going to happen, although we still think that there is that possibility. And the dot plots from the Fed say that there will be 2 more rate cuts after June. So at this meeting, just say that with everything going on in the world, and the economy seems to be moving in a positive direction, that they see no reason to make a change in interest rates at this time. Clearly, we'll have more information in May about the Iranian war, and that may change things over the next 6 weeks, but we're going to have to wait and see. But we expect no change in interest rates at this meeting.
I want to remind everybody you're on with us the first and third Monday of the month, always at 9:00 Eastern time. And Ray, how can people reach you?
So the best way to reach us is either to send an email to info at Provise, and that's PROVISE.com. So info at Provise.com, or simply give us a call at 800-633-3049. That's 800-633-3049. You can just sign up for our biweekly newsletter that we call the Provise Perspectives. You're entitled to a complimentary 1-hour consultation with me. And so either of those 2 ways. And if you need to know more about us first, simply go to provise.com, PROVISE. Kind of browse our site and take a look and see if you like or don't like. And if you do like, please give me a call and take advantage of that complimentary 1-hour consultation.
Hey, how could you not like Ray Farrar and Provise? Ray, thank you so much. I can't wait for next month, first Monday of the month, 9:00 Eastern time. No telling where we'll be at that time. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much, Ray.
Take care, Stephen, and have a wonderful week.
God bless. That's Ray Farrar at Provise. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we've got more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.